Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. Kelly, how are you today? Doing wonderfully, I assume.
I had a feeling you were going to ask me that question. So I'm doing great. Like I always say, right? Doing great. I choose to be doing great today, Elizabeth. It's a great day.
Wonderful.
It's a great day where you are, and you're probably doing a great as well, aren't you?
Of course. Absolutely. I decided I wanted to do great today. So yes.
Yes. See, it's a mindset. Miracle morning.
Perfect. Well, today we have somebody else who I hope is having a great day. I know she's a little nervous, but we have the Director of Operations over at Kelly Cook Real Estate Group, one of Kelly's very own team members. We've got Laurie Pretzman here with us. Laurie, how are you doing today?
Great. Thank you.
Perfect.
This is long overdue, Elizabeth. We should have had Laurie on a long time ago.
I know.
And so I'm so excited to have her on today to drop some knowledge for everybody on a different angle of real estate that a lot of people are aware of, or sometimes maybe not, but they should be. Extremely important. It's like, we call it the backbone, the spine of especially a real estate business. And that's the operational side. So hopefully today, people will get clarity around what that looks like for their business, whether they're a one-man band or they have 10 people or whatever case may be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that we've talked about, different positions on the team. Obviously, you can go back and go to buildyourrealestateteam.com that Kelly has put together to start building out your real estate team. And even in that, one of the first modules, I think maybe the first one, is to hire some staff. Obviously, that's an admin and things like this. Is an operations director is a little bit further down the line, but it's important to have that people around you to help support your business, right? People that you can trust. And so Laurie's going to give us a look into what she does on the daily and how she really supports the business. Like Kelly said, from I don't want to say from the back, but it is the back spine supporting there. So
yeah, absolutely. No, Laurie. So, Laurie, we go way back, right? But people need to know about you, right? Because there's so many things that you do. You're like the Wizard of Oz, right? And there's so many things that you do that sometimes I'm not even aware of that make the whole entire office just run very smoothly. But going a step back further, what's your background, Laurie? And your background, where you kind of came from, how you got here, and then your personality type. I think that's important to discuss when it comes to operations as well.
Okay. Well, Kelly, so I've been with you for over 5 years. Before that, I was with another Keller Williams team in East Valley for 2 years. Before that, I was a stay-at-home mom for 14 years.
And now the office mom, right?
Yes, now I'm the office mom. I'm Mama Bear.
That's what we all call her. And it's very true. It's very true. And every single office needs an office Mama Bear for sure. All right. So that's kind of like the personality type a little bit, but I think a lot of people in real estate know the DISC personality profile assessment, Laurie. So how would you describe yourself on the DISC, and what would people, that I think thrive in this position, what kind of personality should they probably be looking for?
So I'm an SC. So, well, first of all, I'm very social. And as Kelly will tell you, definitely getting to know all the agents and getting to know a little bit about them, but also getting to know our clients and, giving them that extra special touch and, asking them questions and remembering when we talk to them about their kids or, so-and-so's having a baby or they just graduated or something like that. So I'm very, very social in that I have the need to get to know people, and I am genuinely interested in wanting to get to know someone. I'm also very detailed oriented. So as Kelly knows, I love spreadsheets.
Yes.
I put together lots of numbers for him and that. So yeah.
Well, it's very important. You gotta be able to do that. You gotta know your numbers, right? You gotta know your numbers, and we have we have a system that kind of helps with data input for having scoreboards, as we talked about, Elizabeth, right? And you gotta know your numbers. But what Laurie does, and is she goes like even a step further, right? And she'll kind of pull separate, customized scoreboards or customized spreadsheets, if you will, on certain things that we need at certain times, right? And so it's very, very important. And she's way more efficient, way more effective in pulling that data. It would take me 3 times as long to do that, and I wouldn't even enjoy it while I was doing it. So it really helps to have that opposite personality, complementing your weaknesses, right? Because we all have weaknesses. And I heard in this podcast, another podcast I was listening to, right, that you don't really want to work on your weaknesses. You want to optimize your strengths. And I think that's very true. And because what happens when you optimize your strengths, you actually are probably doing something that you actually enjoy doing too, as well, if it's your strength, as opposed to trying to force yourself to be better at what you're already not really that good at. Yeah. Or kind of miserable doing, because it's just not what your personality matches up to. Right. So that's really good. Okay, Laurie. So what is your superpower? We ask every guest on this podcast, what kind of your superpower is, and if you not what, like, not superhero that you would be, but what's your superpower that you bring to the table, would you say?
My superpower, I feel, is that I'm always thinking several steps ahead to see okay, if I do this, what's going to happen here? Okay, well, that's not good. Let's go back and rethink that. And, keeping 3 steps ahead of everyone else, which is then going to help everyone succeed. At least I hope so.
Well, you can only control what you can control, right? You can't, unfortunately, force some agents to do certain things, but we all wish we could at times, but you can't. So, okay. So seeing a couple steps ahead than everyone else is a very good quality. That's a huge superpower. I like that. I like that a lot. And that really, really helps. Now, in switching gears a little bit, client care and database, right? That's a big thing I know we talk about on this podcast, and that any agent, whether you're, again, 1 person or 10 or 20, needs to have that kind of in line. What are some things an operations director, or anybody who's in some sort of operational role, could really do to help maintain the integrity and overall effectiveness of the database?
So yes, data integrity is huge. Need to make sure that there are notes in sync. We use sync, so in our database, make sure that the correct labels are on the leads, make sure auto tracks are running, make sure, birthdays are in there, anniversaries are in there, the anniversary of the closing. We do send out birthday cards to all the clients that we do have birthdays for. We try and get that from them during the escrow process. Also, obviously, we know when they close, so we send anniversary cards for that as well. So those are some touches that we do to our clients. We also have events throughout the year. Now that COVID is done, we're getting back to in-person events instead of virtual events. So we do movie theater, where we rent out a movie theater, invite all of our past clients and SOI and any leads that we're working with, invite them to come on a Saturday afternoon and see a free movie, have some popcorn, have a chance to win a flat screen TV, an iPad, whatever it is we're giving away. So we love to do that. We've done cornhole events where we have rented out a park and we've hired a company to run a cornhole tournament for us. And they love it. And we have some food. Competition is always very strong, especially in our team. We're an extremely competitive team. And then we also have prizes for the winners of the cornhole. I believe we've given away tickets to like D-backs games and also some TVs, I think an Apple Watch. So we definitely try to give back to our clients. We also have a pie event every year at Thanksgiving that we have about 3 different pies that our past clients can choose from. And then they RSVP for the pie. And usually before COVID, we would have a happy hour type event in our office here where we would have Santa and they could bring their kids and get pictures with Santa. and pick up a pie, and then we'd have some light hors d'oeuvres. But the last 2 years, because of COVID, we've had a drive-by pie event, which has been amazing. And we set up the parking lot and the clients drive through, pick up their pie. And then we partner with St. Mary's Food Bank, and they drop off donations that we then donate to St. Mary's Food Bank. We've also done used sports equipment drive, where we had our clients donate in the summertime, because in the summertime, all the kids are starting to get back into school and all their sports. And as we know, kids grow out of everything within a couple months. So everyone has to go out and buy new cleats or, pads for, soccer or what have you. So we received all those donations, and then we donated them to a local organization here that puts it out to the underprivileged kids, so they have sports equipment to use.
Wow. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff. But
yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
and if you're one person trying to run all that and figure that out, good luck. I don't care how organized you are, and especially at a high level, right? Like where you have the charities tied into your events and organizing that, and when you drop the food off and all of that stuff, the event itself, all the decorations that you are at the event, and so on and so forth. A lot goes into it that can easily be overlooked. And that's the difference between having an event that is just average or an event that's great, right? And one that's memorable that I hope fans will want to come back to. That's the whole point. Otherwise, why bother, right? So that's some really cool insight, Laurie, on some of the things that you're doing. What would you say is the highest priority, for someone in an operational role, whether there's, 5 people helping out on an operational team, or just maybe just one operational person? What would be like, some things that you would recommend that is the priority to be done to hopefully run a successful real estate business or team?
Well, there's we always have to remember on the operations side that our agents are our clients. It's not our leads, it's our agents. I mean, if we do not have good systems in place and are able to assist them, then they're not going to succeed, and then we're not going to be needed. So our agents, we need to set them up for the highest success possible, whether that's our processes, ensuring that they have the listing books that they need, the buyer books that they need, the CRM that we're using, that they have Mojo available to them. I mean, just anything you can think of. We have to take care of our agents first, because if we don't take care of our agents, then we're not going to have clients.
That is awesome. So guys, if you're a natural salesperson out there, you got to just love what Laurie just said, because that frees you up to go do what we call our top 5, right? As sales agents, top 5. So 5 things you should be doing: role play, script practice, right? I always say this all the time. I say, the people who are playing in the NBA or the NFL are the best athletes of that sport in the entire world. But what do they do between games? They practice. Yeah, it's this weird thing, but then we think it's weird when we're going to practice speaking about scripts or whatever it may be. So anyways, top 5: script, role play. Then you have lead generation, which is like business development calls. Then you have or touches or whatever it may be. Then you have lead follow-up. Then 4th thing is conduct appointments. 5th thing is negotiate contracts. And what Laurie just described frees you up to do those top 5 that are going to be your highest activities to generate additional sales and therefore revenue, since you are obviously, getting paid on sales and commission. And so that's a really, really cool thing. So hopefully you guys, if you got anything out of this podcast, you got that right there. So Laurie, real quick. So when someone's looking to maybe hire someone on the operational role, what are some real quick tidbits, some meat and potatoes of what they should be looking for, or what they should do in that process to find that person?
Well, it's you definitely need someone who's very organized. You definitely need someone that can kind of wrangle in everyone and just make sure everyone's doing what they need to do.
Bull by the horns.
Yes.
Bull by the horns.
Bull by the horns. Also, as Kelly likes to say, the velvet hammer.
Yes.
So that
And you're wearing pink today too, so this is perfect.
Yeah. So when things are being, need to be corrected, you kind of do it, in a motherly way, as we like to say. Honestly, another big thing I think you need to look for is someone who's going to preserve and thrive with the culture. Like I feel like, that's like really close to my heart. And I feel like that we do a really good job here on our team of keeping our culture positive and alive and nurturing and, pushing everyone to succeed. We have a lot of healthy competition here. We do a lot of team building events on our team where we will go and have axe throwing. We went to an air jump place. So we will just go out for happy hour, but just, someone who is positive and is going to succeed and, push our culture to continually just get better and better and better.
Love it. Okay, guys, you heard it there from the office mom queen herself. All right, Laurie Pretzman. So Laurie, we're so glad that you joined us here today. This is, like I said, way overdue. I guess we always ask this question to every single guest that comes on the podcast. So without further ado, the question goes to you as well, which is if you can leave these people today that are listening to the podcast with one thing that's important that maybe they could implement. It could be something simple, but meat and potatoes, right? They can implement into their business in the next week or so. What would you say it would be? And it doesn't have to be operationally or anything, just anything that you think would be important for someone to implement, they could implement in their business in the next week or so.
Oh, wow. Gosh, there's so many I could pick from. Just always, as Kelly likes to say, and he said in the beginning, always choose happy. Like you always definitely want to have a positive outlook on everything, no matter what you do. And whether it's cold calling or open houses or what have you, you just always need to have an upbeat, and you need to have a positive outlook. And if you continue that positive outlook, positive things will come. You will attract those positive people as clients and as agents and as mentors. And
that's good. That's our first core value, right? Is positivity of our team.
Yeah.
And if you choose, I think it's huge, Laurie, because that gets overlooked a lot. If you choose to be positive when the day begins, most of the time the dominoes are going to fall in line for the rest of the day.
Yes.
And it's amazing how when you choose not to be, because you let one thing that may be a real thing that's not so great happen to you, you let it just overflow into the rest of the day, and it usually doesn't turn out so great. So I think that's huge to choose positivity, because in this business especially, right, you can get a lot of rejection, right? When people say, no, I don't want to work with a snake oil salesman selling real estate, right? Or whatever it is, right? You guys like used car salesmen, get out of here. So I think that's very, very important, because at the end of the day, like anything you're selling, it does, whether you like it or not, come down to a numbers game. And if you have the wherewithal to and the grit to talk to 100 people as opposed to just 5 in one given day, let's say, or week or whatever it may be, your odds are just increased tremendously to that you're going to run into somebody who would like to use your service to help buy and sell a house. So I love that. That's awesome. Elizabeth, do you have any other questions for Laurie that I missed?
I don't think so. I think she covered it very well. She did like I said, I know she was a little bit nervous coming on here, but she killed it. That was great, Laurie. So, well, I will kind of wrap it up here. Laurie, thank you for coming on. This was awesome. It was, like Kelly said, way overdue to have you. But if you have any questions for Laurie on how she runs things over there, Laurie, where can somebody reach you if they have questions about, hiring for that position or just picking your brain on some things?
Oh, absolutely. So my email address is clientcare@kellycookhomes.com.
There's the Kelly Cook Homes. That's why. All right.
And we love to share and collaborate. So absolutely.
Yes.
Lovely. And then Kelly, if anybody has any questions for you on maybe how you found Laurie, where can they reach out to you?
every once in a while, you get lucky on certain things. All right, Elizabeth. So that's
no
that's
strategy there.
Just luck. No,
Yeah.
no info at kellycookhomes.com or hey, my cell, text or call 480-227-2028.
Wonderful. And if you are, a solo agent and you're like, yeah, I need to get somebody on my operations team. I cannot do all of this, by myself at the level that it needs to be done. Go on over to buildyourrealestateteam.com. Like I said, the first module in there is not hiring more agents. It's hiring, people on the operations side, people on the administration side. That's the first module right there, guys. So go check that out, buildyourrealestateteam.com. And other than that, we'll see you all next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laurie.
See you guys.
Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.